Good morning, this is Edwina from Singapore, and I've been working with teachers as well as children from the age of 4 to 7 years old in Singapore. I think the most effective part would be the multi-sensory approach, particularly for the younger children. They learn the letter sounds through the story, through the action, through the songs. All right, and this becomes a very powerful combination to hook the children onto their first learning. Because I think in the beginning, they might not be able to remember the sounds, but with the help of the story, that will arouse their interest. And once the interest is aroused, whatever little knowledge that they have is being compounded into the action as well as the song. And I think it's very important that the song actively becomes a constant revision of the letter sounds. I have seen my children, some of them, or in fact most of them, actually coming from non-English speaking homes, whereby when they go to the school or they come to my classes, are the only time whereby they have the opportunity to speak as well as to read as well as to write. And after, let's say, about 6 letter sounds, I find that the children, they would beginning to have a knowledge of the sounds. And for example, if I ask them, if I do the action of the S, or I set out the letter S, they are able to write it. And later on, when I moved on, to blending, slowly they'll be able to write short phrases. I think particularly in the area of jolly grammar, because in Mandarin or in Chinese, we do not have tenses. We only have the verbs. So in order to explain that concept to children as well as to teachers, we must make them to understand that there's what is present, what is the past, and what is the future. All right? And to a certain extent, the action again comes in as well as the color-coded. So it enables the children to remember, a verb is actually an action word and I need to write it in red, and there's a particular action that goes with it. Personally, I find that my personal advice to the teachers is that do not give up. Because I think that the easiest part that you are tempted to give up is when you're teaching the nursery children, because they're all over the place. But I think those are the moments that I think we need to persevere on, whereby we'll continue to tell them the story, we continue to do the action, we continue to sing to them, and we sing along with them, all right? And we also help them in the letter formation. And I must emphasize, all right, that Jolly Phonics is not just a literacy program, but whereby we actually place a huge emphasis on teaching children to form letters accurately, which is a very valuable skill in this time and era, because many of our children are very weak in their motor skills because they've been swiping iPad, and touching keyboard. So I think we need to bring them back to the fundamental skills of how to form letters correctly, right? And another practice is that we also must make blending very concrete to the children, using, like, for example, the letter cards in the Jolly Phonics starter kit, whereby that we make the children, for example, if I say the letter A, they will take out the letter for me, and if I say the T, they will put the T next to it, and from there we can start to blend at. So this becomes very concrete for the children. They will understand, hey, how does the word at comes about, because I actually see 2 letter sounds being put together. So I think that is very important, that phonics, particularly in Jolly Phonics, it is a concrete program. It's no difference, when we teach mathematics, we use counters. But I think when we teach phonics to the children, we also use concrete methodology, for example, like action, songs, and the cards to enhance the whole program.
Thank you.
Actually, I find that the Jolly Classroom is a good marriage between technology as well as the pen and paper experience. Why do I say that? Because you see, when you start the Jolly Classroom, one thing I like about it, they always have the revision aspect, that they revise through the previous sounds. For example, like I think there's a button that you push, and then they say you hear the sound, and the child is supposed to form the letter. In my case, I do not let the children form the letter on the screen, but they will all be given little small, I will call boards, whereby they write it. So in that sense, I can see them, I can eyeball them, that are they forming the letter correctly, all right? But after that, we proceed to, I will say that is a very, let me find the word, and captivating experience, because they can see the whole story, fleshed out in the full screen. And then where they can discuss, what are the things they see on the screen, and then we are using our whiteboard marker, we can like circle up the things. So everything's become a very visual, highly visual experience. And even the song too. And I personally like a lot is the activities. There are many pairing activities, where the children can come, and then we can use the whiteboard marker, and then we can make the connections. So I think that it becomes a very, I would put it that way, very exciting moment for the children, and very in thing that, that, hey, I'm having my iPad experience in the classroom. Read, write faster.